Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from two verses, the 10th and the 11th verses of the 17th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Both these verses are given together by Srila Prabhupada, so I shall read both of them, the 10th verse and the 11th verse. Yasya rashtre praja sarvaha trasyante sadhya asadhubihi tasya mattasya nashyanti kirtir ayur bhago gatihi esha rajñam paro dharmo hyartanam artinigraha ata enam vadishyami bhutadruham asattamam. The meaning of these two verses is as follows. O chaste one, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man because he is violent against other living beings. So, Srila Prabhupada writes elaborate purport for these two verses. Purport is as follows. When there is some disturbance caused by wild animals in a village or town, the police or others take action to kill them. Similarly, it is the duty of the government to kill at once all bad social elements such as thieves, dacoits, and murderers. The same punishment is also due to animal killers, because the animals of the state are also called praja. The word praja that is used, citizen, in English we say citizen, praja. Praja means one who has taken birth in the state. Ja means to take birth. So this praja includes both men and animals, especially the cows and bulls. They are reared by human beings, especially for Brahmanical culture. Any living being who takes birth in a state has the primary right to live under the protection of the king. Any living being who takes birth in the state, be it an animal or a human being. The jungle animals are also subject to the king, and they also have a right to live. What to speak of, as Prabhupada says, what to speak of the domestic animals like the cows and bulls, even the jungle animals, they cannot be indiscriminately killed by anyone. So, especially the cows and bulls must be protected by the king. Also, Srila Prabhupada further explains, any living being, if he terrifies other living beings, is a most wretched subject, and the king should at once kill such a disturbing element. To maintain peace, to maintain law and order, the king should impose very strict punishment in order to protect the innocent. As the wild animal is killed when it creates disturbances, similarly any man who unnecessarily kills or terrifies the jungle animals or other animals must be punished at once. By the law of the Supreme Lord, all living beings in whatever shape they may be are the sons of the Lord and no one has any right to kill another animal unless it is so ordered by the codes of natural law. What is wrong in killing an animal by a human being? Prabhupada points out that tiger can kill a lower animal for his subsistence because that is the food for the tiger ordained by the higher laws. But a man cannot kill an animal for his subsistence. That is the law of God, who has created the law that a living being subsists by eating another living being. Jivo jivasya jivanam. This was explained in the earlier chapter, 13th chapter of the first canto of Bhagavatam, that we cannot eat some matter, dead matter, we cannot eat. We have to eat something for our subsistence, something which is like a living being. Thus, the vegetarians are also living by eating other living beings. Therefore, the law is that one should live only by eating specific living beings as ordained by the law of God. And that is explained in the Ishopanishad as follows. The Ishopanishad directs that one should live by direction of the Lord and not at one's sweet will. Just like people say, my preference to eat meat. You may prefer to eat vegetables, but my preference to eat meat. This is what the argument that is given by some people who are non-vegetarians. But Prabhupada says, a man can subsist on varieties of grains, fruits and milk ordained by God. There is no need of animal food for a human being, save and except in particular cases. Let's say there is no availability of food grains or fruits or vegetables or milk. Then under those extreme circumstances, one may eat some animal flesh. Otherwise, there is no reason to eat animal flesh. The illusioned king or executive head, even though sometimes advertised as a great philosopher and learned scholar, will allow slaughterhouses in the state without knowing that torturing poor animals clears the way to hell for such foolish kings or executive heads. See, above the laws enforced by a government or a king, there are laws of God operating in this material world. So, their future is very, 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 very dark. Those who are animal killers. The executive head must always be alert to the safety of the prajas, both man and animal, and inquire whether a particular living being is harassed at any place by another living being. The harassing living being must be at once caught and put to death, as shown by Maharaj Parikshit. The king's duty to give protection and punish the culprits without showing any sentimental compassion or mercy. No. So Srila Prabhupada says the people's government or government by the people should not allow killing of innocent animals by the sweet will of foolish government men. These government people don't care if animals are killed indiscriminately. And actually, the government should not allow that. If they want proper law and order, if they want peace in the society, they must know the codes of God as mentioned in the revealed scriptures, Dharma Shastra. Manusmriti, Parashara Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti. They should know that. Perfect directions are given in the revealed scriptures for governance, how to rule the kingdom or the state. Maharaj Parikshit quotes here that according to the codes of God, the irresponsible king or state executive jeopardizes his good name, duration of life, power and strength, and ultimately his progressive march towards a better life and salvation after death. See, this is very important, this understanding that every living being is spirit soul, not the body. And the soul actually is meant for making progress, the actual living being inside the body, the living entity, as we say, the particular person inside the body, is meant for progressing towards better life. And that is the opportunity in this material world. Such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of a next life. They don't even know there is a next life. They're so ignorant. Or if they're informed, they think, oh, we don't believe in that. Now this belief system under the situation where they are ignorant people, subtle laws that are working, they do not know. Just like foolish people, they do not know their suffering is caused by their own previous sinful activities. That they do not know. Many foolish people are there, ignorant people are there, and all kinds of non-believers, as we say, atheists, agnostics, upstarts, ignorant people. They suffer, but they do not know why they are suffering. Especially when they are afflicted by some disease, or they are afflicted by some pain, some natural calamity. They do not know why they were subject to some disaster, natural disaster. They do not know. But it is not that sometimes there is some natural calamity and we have to simply face it. No, it's not like that. It's completely controlled. Nature is controlled by God. And nature, under God's direction, gives punishment to people who are sinful. And they suffer in proportion to their past sinful activities. Violation of the codes of God. So Srila Prabhupada says, politicians, they are ignorant, and one such politician has written, I do not believe in any such ceremonies, and to submit to them even as a matter of form would be hypocrisy in an attempt to delude ourselves and others. I have no religious sentiment in the matter. Some politician has said that he doesn't believe in life after death. He doesn't believe in the codes of God as given in the authentic scriptures. Such people are totally ignorant, unlike Maharaj Parikshit. So, Maharaj Parikshit was pious according to scriptural codes. He was having a solid basis for governance. Whereas the modern politician goes by his personal belief and sentiments. He just conducts himself and he enforces law based on his personal sentiments, which is very, very dangerous, because I may differ from another person, some other person may differ from somebody else. Is that the way to actually conduct the government? It is totally irrational. It's meaningless. So Prabhupada says, after all, even the so-called great man in this material world is a conditioned soul. He is bound by his hands and feet by the ropes of material nature, and still he thinks that he can act whimsically. So the conclusion is, during Parikshit Maharaj's time, people were happy, animals were given proper protection, and there was peace and prosperity in the kingdom. And it was experienced by everyone. And modern day situation is so bad, people are suffering in so many ways. Except those who are truly God conscious, all others have to suffer in so many ways. So the conclusion is that we should be God conscious and we should follow the God given directions, and then individually and collectively we can be happy, peaceful, we can live a peaceful life, and we can expect prosperity. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.